Hi there. Spent a very hectic day driving the new Skoda Slavia all around Goa. You'll see that video soon on my channel where I'll do separate videos for the 1-litre engine and the 1.5-litre engine. Today is February 24th, 2022 and I'm flying between Goa and Kolkata on SpiceJet SG680. The incoming flight is already delayed, so according to flight radar, the incoming flight from Kolkata. I hope that I don't get any more surprises, but we are on our way to the airport and it should be fun. Goa airport is usually very chaotic, so I'll shoot from there and let you know how it goes. Keep watching for more. While my driver was able to drop me off without much of a problem, check-in and security took some time, as it always does at Goa airport. Goa attracts passengers from all over India and many of them are very infrequent flyers, so there are always problems at check-in and security. There are also problems with videography and photography inside Goa airport. That is primarily because Goa airport is also Indian Naval Aviation's major base. India's naval aviation fighter planes as well as naval maritime reconnaissance aircraft are based at INS Hansa, the other name for Dabolim Airport. So I found out from flight radar that my flight is running, incoming plane is running about 52 minutes late. It should mean that my outgoing flight will run at least 45 minutes late instead of 6:30 departure. I don't expect to depart before 7:15. I came to the airport very early, but Goa airport is rammed. It's rammed. I mean, because of COVID. You have flights from virtually every end of India because people have not been able to travel abroad. Goa is the one tourist destination that's open. You know, this city has a laissez-faire attitude towards alcohol. You know how it is, right? You know, most tourist destinations. I won't call it India's Las Vegas. It aspires to be India's Las Vegas, but yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, but the airport is rammed. Surprisingly, boarding for my flight SG608 to Kolkata started almost at the very instant that the incoming flight SG607 parked at the gate. Unsurprisingly, this led to us walking down the ramp to find that the passengers on the incoming flight were still getting off the plane, leading to almost the entire flight worth of passengers waiting on the ramp. But because the departure terminal of Goa airport is so crowded, the airport authorities encourage airlines to do just this, because at least passengers won't be getting impatient in the terminal. I also got a picture of the aircraft's tags before I boarded, but I didn't quite like SpiceJet's idea of hanging advertising hoardings on the side walls. While this particular aircraft, Victor Tango Sierra Zulu Lima, was only about 7 years old, it looked a hell of a lot older. The Boeing Sky interior could not hide the aircraft's age. I had selected seat 29A on board this Boeing 737-900ER. This is an exit row with no seats ahead of you. However, in this picture you can notice a flotation device that had fallen out of its holder and was lying on the floor. I had to actually tell the crew to clean it up. This is also because quite often passengers on board Goa flights tend to steal these flotation devices while leaving the aircraft. Finally boarded on board this flight. It's being operated by Victor Tango Sierra Zulu Lima, a Boeing 737-900ER. And while we pushed back an hour late, I guess you make back about half an hour of the time. Landing in Calcutta half an hour behind our scheduled arrival time of 9:15 p.m. Got a loud plane, but load is about 2/3 on this flight. Odd, since most flights I believe are rammed. But then again, this is a larger aircraft. I'll keep on saying more during the rest of the flight. I don't know if you can hear me because the outside the ambient music is quite loud indeed. We took off from Goa's runway 26 before heading south and then doubling back east. It was an unusual takeoff for me. Most of my flights from Goa always headed back north to either Delhi or Mumbai. It was an interesting departure. You could see a great view of the airport soon after takeoff, but since it was past sunset, you really couldn't see much from the camera. Service began soon after takeoff, and because my host had booked me on a corporate fare, I got a vegetarian meal as standard. Not a fan of the sports. While it was nice to get a meal, it had obviously been overheated a bit much in the oven. The paneer was a bit rubbery and leathery. However, the potatoes and the veg chop that is in the middle were quite nice, something I would recommend. And to be very honest, 250 rupees for a meal and beverage on board a low cost flight at dinner time is not bad value at all. It works out to about $3.50 for this meal and a beverage.
In the toilet, I don't usually do toilet reviews, but I've not flown on a 737-900 of SpiceJet before, so I came to the toilet from the back. The toilets are actually the rear of the plane, extreme rear. Excuse me, there is no rear galley on this aircraft, there are just two toilets, pretty much attached to the bulkhead. Well, they're larger than the A321 slimline toilets. Take a look. Larger than the A321 slimline toilets. Relatively clean, I think, despite the problem of honey. So, there are a lot of tissue here. But the toilet's clean, and I guess that's what matters.
SpiceJet offers limited in-flight entertainment through a service called Spice Screen, for which you can find the instructions on your seat back pocket. But before I knew it, it was approaching Calcutta, even though it was 2.5 hours into the flight. It was a nighttime flight, so the camera really couldn't catch much. But it was a relatively nice flight. Quiet because people are coming back from Goa, so everybody's a bit upset leaving the holiday destination, getting back home. The approach into Calcutta came from the north, and we landed on runway 1 right. It was a nice approach into Calcutta, very bright and beautiful, as it usually is into most Indian cities. SpiceJet has acquired a relatively poor reputation for quality of service. To be very honest, this flight wasn't bad. The crew was very helpful and very sweet whenever they were asked to give things like water. I really appreciated them, and this flight cost my hosts around 7,500 rupees between Goa and Kolkata. We deboarded from the rear air stairs, even though our jet bridge was connected in the front. And one reason for SpiceJet's predicament is the fact that they haven't kept their plane's exteriors to the mark. The tail could definitely use a lick of paint, and it was quite evident when you looked up. My luggage took almost 10 minutes to arrive on the belt, but I was very fortunate that my suitcase came quite quickly. Would I fly SpiceJet again? Definitely I would. Not just because of the fares, but because the service wasn't half bad. But they definitely have a lot of catching up to do. Do be sure to like this video and do leave your comments and suggestions below.